Hello, my name is Tony Beers, and this is Movie Grades.
And just like the movies, we play out our last scene.
Hey everybody, Tony Beers here again, and in this episode of Movie Grades, I'm going to be reviewing Clash of the Titans. Now, before I get into the review, I'd like to talk about the theater that I went to. There was a couple things that I really didn't like about this theater. For one, we sat in, I think, the third row back, which is still pretty close to the front. For some reason, these seats, the bottom of the seat sloped. I assume this is because since it was still somewhat in the front, it's to force you to stoop in your chair a little bit so the people behind you can see over your head, so you're not blocking their view. The seats literally were a pain in my ass. Another thing that bothered me about going to this movie is the people who is talking in the theater.
I'm trying to watch Clash of the Titans, and all I can hear is those two screaming about Morris Day at the top of their lungs.
But this is a subject for another video. And I also like to mention that I did see the original Clash of the Titans, but I did not see it till somewhat recently. I seen it just a few years ago, in fact. So I did not see this as a kid, so I don't have any nostalgic feelings about this movie. In fact, when I did see it, I actually did not like it very much. I thought it was very boring. I know I'm going to get a lot of people saying that they love it, and they're going to hate me for saying that I hated it, but what can I say? I just didn't like it. Okay, so now let's finally get into this review here. As for the story, it's a basic Greek story. The humans are fed up with the gods, and they declare war against the gods, and the gods aren't having it, and they attack back. Well, let's first talk about what this movie mainly is, which is an action movie. So let's talk about the action. I like the action. I thought the fight scenes were well choreographed. They were just really good fight scenes. The battles with the monsters were excellent. There's these very epic battles. I really liked it. Okay, so now let's talk about the CGI, which I thought was really good. It's not the best CGI I've seen, but it is better than a lot of movies. In this new Clash of the Titans remakes, I think the CGI is excellent, especially with the Kraken, as well as the Scorpions and Medusa. It just looks really well done. Now, as for the makeup special effects, those are also really well done. There is a character in here, is some kind of sand creature, something like sand creatures out of Star Wars, and the makeup effects on his face looks really well done. I really believed that he was an otherworldly creature. Now, as for the 3D, now some of you might not know that this movie was not filmed in 3D. It was filmed in regular 2D and then converted into 3D later on, and this really shows in the movie. The 3D is pretty bad. There were two 3D trailers before this movie. Those two movies were Step Up 3D and Piranha Remake in 3D. Those movies were obviously filmed to be in 3D because the 3D really came right out at you. There's very few scenes in Clash of the Titans where everything is jumped right out at you. In the preview for Step Up 3, the people just come right out at you. I think this is a very bad idea for the 3D movie. In the trailer, there's a scene in which this half-naked dude is dancing in front of me. That's the last thing I need to see in 3D. I almost said out loud, "Get out of my face, dude. I don't want to see that." Now, it's pretty bad when the trailers for the movie have better 3D effects than the actual movie. So I suggest, if you go see Clash of the Titans, you don't need to see it in 3D. Save your money and see it in 2D. Now let's talk about the actors. Liam Neeson is great as always. He is probably the best cast in this movie. I can't think of a better actor to play Zeus. Liam Neeson brings this very regal presence to screen, which is perfect for Zeus. Now let's talk about Ralph Fiennes, or Ray Fiennes, as he likes to be called, but I'm going to call him Ralph. I'm sorry, dude. Your name is spelled Ralph, so I'm going to call you Ralph. Get over yourself. He did a decent job, but what's with all these actors with these raspy whisper voices? I mean, we've seen it in Batman, and we've seen it in Rorschach, and now we see it in Hades. I'm just tired of seeing it. Sam Worthington is adequate as Perseus. Nothing really stands out about his performance. It's not a bad performance, but I liked him a lot better in Terminator Salvation. Now let's get to my favorite performance, which is by, I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly, Gemma Arterton, who plays, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing this correctly too, Io, who she is a woman cursed with agelessness who is helping Perseus in his quest. Now I gotta say, I think I got a new crush. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to break up with Megan Fox.
What?
I'm sorry.
You are the strangest boy I have ever met.
She is just plain gorgeous. She's got this beautiful milky white porcelain skin, these deep brown soulful eyes. To me, she's just plain gorgeous. And another great attribute to her is that she has a very beautiful voice. You can hear her voice in the trailer for the upcoming movie Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time. Here, just take a listen.
Prince Dastan, have you wondered how you could have found such a treasure? Are you not curious why an orphan from the streets would be chosen to become a prince? The gods have a plan for you, a destiny. There are those who would use the power of the dagger to destroy the world. You must protect it.
Now, doesn't she just have a sexy voice? She is just born to play these regal, otherworldly characters. What can I say? I'm in love. Now for my final grade. This movie is not as good as some of other movies like it, such as 300 or Lord of the Rings, but it is a pretty good movie. I have to say, it's a lot better than some of the movies out right now. This is the third movie I've seen this year, and it is easily the best of the three. I've seen Legion, I've seen Wolfman,
Now that was worse than Clash of the Titans.
and this is by far the best. But still, that's not really saying much considering the movies that I've seen. I still really like it, so my final grade is going to have to be a B-. I'm Tony Beers, and I'll see you next time.